Hey guys, welcome back to Whole Future. Wanted to make a video on a political topic. I normally try to stay away from politics, but when it has to do with healthcare, I will chime in. This is definitely not a channel to tell you whom to vote for, whom you should have voted for, that sort of thing. One thing I have noticed from the Bernie Sanders camp, and to a degree from the Hillary Clinton camp, and even the Donald Trump camp, is that these drug prices are too high, and that Americans are dying because they cannot get their medication. And this is a nice, sensational idea. The idea that we're just, the drugs are too expensive and we can't afford them and that's why we're dying. And just want to bring in a dose of reality and tell you that even if the drugs were available for $0, even if the drugs were widely available and like terribly inexpensive, even if everybody could afford the drugs that they need, we would not see really any change in mortality rates in this country. People would still be dying of the causes that they're dying from, which the top three are heart disease, cancer, although there's debate on whether cancer actually kills more people than heart disease. That's a topic for another time. And the third one is a general bucket term called iatrogenic effects, meaning killed by their physician, either in terms of a surgery that was unsuccessful or prescription drugs used in the manner they're prescribed. We're not even talking about prescription drug overdoses. So the drugs need to be less expensive so they can save people's lives, but the drugs are part of the number 3 killer of Americans. And let's look at the first two. I mean, heart disease and cancer are, in the case of heart disease, both of them are like 99% lifestyle related. And that means that it's what people eat and how people move. And no amount of drugs is going to save you from a heart attack. The data is even clear on like the statin drugs that reduce cholesterol actually do not reduce the incidence of cardiac mortality. They may reduce your cholesterol numbers on paper, meanwhile pickling your liver and probably pickling your brain, causing Alzheimer's. But to actually reduce the incidence of cardiac death, no. So it's unfortunate that these drugs, even if we made them cheaper and more available, that they wouldn't solve the healthcare problem. The good news is that the solution to the healthcare problem is not through the drugs. You don't even need the drugs, okay? You just need the food, all right? Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, plant-based foods, no salt, no sugar, no oil. These are the things that reverse these diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and in many instances, many forms of cancer. So I worked at a clinic where I saw this firsthand. Works better than any drug you can imagine, putting people on a healthy diet. So I just want to reiterate, and just if you're watching, you could tell your friends this who repost this kind of stuff, that the healthcare crisis is not caused by a lack of drugs or drugs being too expensive. We spend more money than any other country on our healthcare, and yet we get horrible results. It's not because the drug prices are too high, it's because the drugs don't work. So I just wanted to pass that on to you. Now Donald Trump is saying he's going to get tough on these drug companies and they're literally killing people. He didn't really mean in the way that the drugs are killing people, third cause of death. He just meant that they're really expensive. A lot of people like to take that soundbite out of context and make it sound like he actually understood that the drugs don't make you better. But if you watch the whole clip, it doesn't seem to be the case. So not much faith in that guy either. So anyway, just wanted to remind you guys that the pills don't cure the ills. The drugs getting cheaper and more available is not going to solve the healthcare problem. It might bring costs down, but ultimately the whole pharmaceutical industry is obsolete. We can completely sidestep 98% of the pharmaceutical drugs out there, except for use in emergency situations. They're almost counterproductive in chronic situations. So it's like the best of both worlds. We get our health back, and these corrupt, blood-sucking, greedy pharmaceutical companies go the way of the dodo because people don't need their drugs anymore. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If this resonated with you, please share this video. Please help spread this message. Thank you for watching, guys.